But of course, we are here for a reason, like I said, because we are talking about migration issues, and probably you want to quickly think about it's going to be irregular migration. Of course, indeed it is. Irregular migration issues yet again in the Gambia. So this evening we of course got the information that there are some of course potential migrants who were of course intercepted by the Gambian forces in Tanji. Of course, this has been happened since yesterday. There are some issues apparently going on in Tanji. So we have sent our team on the ground to find out what is happening on the ground, what are the issues, what are the concerns, and we want to discuss that with you. And so wherever you are, thank you so very much for joining us. We would discuss at length on some of the issues relating to migration and of course, irregular migration. As you know, despite the efforts that have been done, it seems the young people are persisting that they still want to leave this country and use the Mediterranean, the perilous journey to wherever they want to go, be it in Europe or in some part of the world. So we're going to discuss that. So, ko defee mbokk ñu ngi leen di nuyu beneen fii ci Africa TV ñu waat mbégte lool. ñëwaatee ci programme bi xam ngeen ne daanaka bariwul ñu ànd ak yéen jotaay bu mel nii ci waxtu bi li ko waral nag tey mooy lenn rek la dañ fi ñëw waxtaan li wàllum migration surtout ci li nga xamante ne mooy irregular migration xam ngeen ne li nga xamante ne luñ gën koo xam ci yëf yi baagwee ci réew mi bari na lool lu fees la ci réew mi tey nag ñu fi ñëw pour waxtaan ci xew-xew bi nga xamante jamono ji moo xew Tànje am na ndaw yi nga xamante ne wala ay nit yi nga xamante ne ay Gambians ak ay yeneen doomi réew fale ci Tànje Gambian Security Force ñoom leen teg loxo ñu waroon jaar fii utali tugal jaaree ko ci ndox mi loolu nag xam ngeen ne nekk na li nga xamante ne mooy mbir bi nga xamante ne mooy lu yàgg a wax la fii ci biir réew mi day am solo pour ñu def ci waxtaan bu baax a baax ci mbir moomu la moo tax ñu ñëw fii am na suñu ndaw yi nga xamante ne jamono ji ñu ngi Tànje pour ñu toppa mbir mi nu mu demee ak lan moo fa nekk di xew ci kanam tuuti nañ jokkoo ak ñoom déggee ci ñoom déggee tamit ci ñeneen ñi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo dugg ci mbir mi ñu ngi jàpp ci suñu xibaar wala ci suñu xibaar ne am nañ nit ñi nga xamante ne wees nañ fanweeri nit ñi nga xamante jamono ji ñoom lañ jàppoon ne bëgg nañoo jaar fii ci Gambia utali Europe nañ ci yaatal léegi-léegi ak suñu ay team bu nekk foofu ci Tànje ñu yaatal ko bu baax a baax ñu ngi leen di gërëmaat beneen yoon ci ni ngeen di ànd ak ñun saa su ne fii ci Africa TV ci jotaay yu mel nii ak yeneen jotaay su ko defee ñu maa ngi si ànd ak suma naataango Julde Njaay Soirée ma bàyyi ko moom tamit quickly mu nuyoo gars yi Julde good to have you. Of course, another very interesting thing to talk about, pertinent issue, migration. You know, it seems it's difficult to stop people using the regular the difficult. So yeah, so quickly.
Good evening, viewers. Like Amadou said, we are here for a special edition on migration. As you know, over 30 young people have been intercepted in Gunjur and of course Tànje, and our team of reporters are currently on the ground, and they will give us live updates on the happenings there. And of course, we will, the immigration department officials are also there, and later on we will bring you all that in the program here.
And as you can see, Julde, these are live images on the ground. Like he said, of course, latest one indeed happening in Tànje right now. So we would of course be going there live in a moment. But before we do, let's quickly, of course, give you this, and then we'll hear from the immigration department as well. But just of course, we would listen to him, and then we'll come back shortly to continue. But first, let's hear from the immigration department people. I think it should be the PRO. Let's hear from him.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Welcome to the GID Migration Center here in Tànje. We thank you very much for honoring our invitation to this morning briefing. We have some interesting information that we want to share with all of you here. On Wednesday, the 9th of June, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Welcome to the GID Migration Center here in Tànje. We thank you very much for honoring our invitation to this morning briefing. we have some interesting information that we want to share with all of you here. On Wednesday, the 9th of June 2021, the GID received an intelligence from our counterparts that a migrant group consisting of various nationalities are planning to embark on a perilous journey using the high seas to the Canary Islands in Spain. Our officers, in collaboration with our sister forces, remarkably the SIS and the Gambian Navy, were able to work on this information, leading to the arrest of 9 people in Tanji and another 28 people in Gunjur, totaling to a sum of 37 people. Among them were 3 women, all of which were Sierra Leoneans, and 6 minors, meaning children under the age of 18 years, all of whom were Gambians. As part of the operations, we were also able to arrest a 40 horsepower outboard engine and 33 life jackets. Altogether, 25 Gambians were arrested as part of the group, 10 Sierra Leoneans, 1 Guinean, and 1 Senegalese. The arrested individuals were brought to our migration center here in Tanji, as you can evidently see, and the investigations were conducted. The Red Cross were of help to this operation because they have immensely supported with feeding and psychosocial support. The investigations, the preliminary investigations for that matter, have so far revealed that one agent who goes by the name Sute Marong has been arrested and is currently helping the investigators with their work. However, the rest of the masterminds behind this whole thing are still at large. These migrants, according to the investigations so far, have paid some huge amounts of money, ranging from 25,000 to 45,000 Gambian dollars. One of them revealed to the investigators that he have paid about $900 to be able to embark on the journey. But this $900 was not enough for the agents, and they have to go to his household to collect some household belongings that will be used to make up for the rest of the money that he needs to pay for the journey. Others have also informed the investigators that they have paid valuables like motorbikes and other valuable materials. As we speak, the investigations and the hunt for the masterminds, the rest of the masterminds, still continues. And we hope to brief you accordingly as and when we get more updates on this significant development.
All right, there you go. So that is the statement from the Gambia Immigration Department, of course, giving a breakdown as to how the whole, of course, situation unfolded since they had the news of these 37 potential migrants heading to Spain, as he has mentioned. So, of course, according to him, 25 of them are Gambians. You have 10 Sierra Leoneans, of course, 1 Guinean and 1 Senegalese are involved, 3 women and 6 minors. These are people less than 18 years, according to him. So, interestingly, there's a whole lot of money involved, staggering amount of money involved. And like I said, in a moment, we should be going to Tanji, live and found, to talk to our team on the ground to exactly know what is happening, because our reporter Bint Jallo is on the line now. Bint, good evening, and thank you very much for joining us. You have been in Tanji almost since in the morning to now. Bring us up to date. What is happening? What is the latest development on this whole issue?
Good afternoon, everyone watching, and hello, Amadou. How are you? Actually, we are here in Tanji, like you said, since in the morning we've been following progress of the migrants who were captured by the immigration and other sister forces and was brought to the Tanji migration center. Now, like we all heard the immigration PRO, what he said, actually this is what was said here, and of course during the course of when all this was said and done, so many developments came in the picture, because during this time when he was giving this report, there are certain things that were not mentioned, and I believe they were not actually on ground. But now that we came to find out that there were a lot of money that was in fact involved in this journey, according to some of the migrants, they are complaining of investing a lot of money and paying, a lot of money to this agent. And currently, of course, the agent is nowhere to be seen. Of course, we are hearing again reports that he is already captured, but these are conflicting revelations that we are hearing. We are hearing he is captured, we are hearing he is not captured, but now the migrants are so frustrated, and of course right now all they want is their money. Yeah. And the unfortunate incident that...
Yeah, I was going to ask you, of course, you talked about the issue of the agent, which is in many cases when issues of this nature happens, agents are involved. And of course, you talked about whether he is captured or not, which is yet to be confirmed. But what is this situation on the ground in terms of the youths? You said there seems to be frustration. What are they saying, and what are they demanding with regards to the monies that they have paid for their traveling?
So these youth are actually making a lot of allegations towards the officers that conducted the arrest, and some of them are saying that this, the person that they paid the money to, that is the agent, at the time when he was arrested, he was also taken by some of the officers to go and, of course, show them some certain places. And later they came back and told them that the man escaped, and they didn't find him. So now the frustration of the youth, you could see them on their faces. They're really frustrated, and they're talking a lot and making so many allegations towards the officers. And of course, they made certain allegations of, thinking that they have been bribed by this man, and in order for him to escape. But to be honest, these are all allegations, and we are yet to establish the truth. Like the immigration department said, there is still investigation, so we cannot come to any conclusion as of now.
All right, Binta, this is of course, seemingly a delicate situation, and as we speak, there are more developments that are happening. We heard from the immigration PRO, and is there any other authority that is on the ground to fish out what is happening, and as to how this whole issue or matter would be dealt with?
Yes, we've seen the governor of the area came here in the morning. But of course, we left here and went to visit Gunjur, where the migrants were actually lodging. So when we came back, we didn't find him here, but he was on ground to know actually what was happening here.
All right. I know we will come back to you in a moment. Thank you very much, and we will get also Modnyang on the line, so we can also discuss this in the local language, and we'll get you back because we would want to know more of some of the other things that are happening or that has happened since yesterday. And yeah, we understand, other people from other countries are also involved. So ko defee ñu daldi indi Modnyang moom tamit ñu waxtaan ak moom ci mbir mi dégg ngeen Binta lim wax loolu tamit nekk na lu am solo ñu gën a yaatal waxtaan bi nañ amaat Binta ci kanam tuuti ci loolu mu nekk li nga xamante ne mooy lu am solo comme ni ngeen ko déggee noonu julde balaa ñoo indi Modnyang rek interesting moments you had from the immigration PRO, who's the spokesperson, of course, from Binta as well. So it seems, well, this journey to Europe is persistent despite the efforts done, and you can see even minors and women are involved.
Yeah, it's serious, Amadou, really, really serious, considering the fact that the number of minors involved, 6 of them and 3 women, it's a huge number. And, you know, there has been a lot of efforts done internally and nationally. The IOM and, of course, in collaboration with the Gambia government have been doing a lot of efforts in making sure that they put an end to the irregular migration in this country. Just recently, we had an interview with the people from IOM and of course the migrants, some of the migrant returnees who are, you know, venturing in so many productive areas in the country here. And of course they have this campaign called Migrants as Messengers, and this campaign is geared towards making sure that the migrants returning filter the information down to the ordinary people, and of course young people
share their experience,
as to, you know, what they have encountered, you know, in this journey. And with that, there is a huge hope that, you know, the issue of migration or irregular migration will be a thing of the past. But apparently what we are seeing here, it's a different ball game. We've seen 37 of them, and, you know, 25 of them are Gambians, and then, you know, the rest are from other nationalities, which is a huge number. And, you know, it's really devastating knowing, even after all that is in the country here, after all the avenues that is created by YEPT, by IOM, by the Gambia government, young people are still persisting, you know, in embarking in this, you know, dangerous journey, which is really, really sad.
Absolutely, it is indeed sad, like you said, and that's why we would want to discuss about this issue. Let's go back to our team on the ground again. Modnyang ñu ngi lay nuyu bu baax a baax su ko defee rek gannaaw nuyoo bi nga indil ñu li nga xamante ne tolluwaay bi ci foofu ci Tanji gannaaw bi nga xamante ne gis nañ lu fa xew ab jàpp nañ ay nit ñi nga xamante ne dañ bëggoon a jaar ci ndox mi dem fale ci biti réew lan lañ mën a jàpp fu mu nekk nii tolluwaay bi foofu ci Tanji.
jërëjëf Amadou ñu ngi laa nuyu ne itam ñi seetaan Africa TV si jamono bi comme noo ko waxee rek ñu ngi fii ni Tanji Amadou fekk fi lu doy waar fekk fi itam ñu jaaxle ñoo xam ne ni fu mu nekk ni seen jaaxle daal foo ko natt rek ëpp na ko ñi nga xam ne ñooy way tukki yi comme ni ñu ko migrants yi comme ni ñu ko baaxee naroon a jaare fii nga xam ne mooy si Gambia. Amadou nag liñ fi gis ay ndaw leen gis fii ñoo xam ne ni dëkk si ay réew yi bëri yoo xam ne ni fii nii si Afrique la li si mel ni li di Sénégal Freetown Sierra Leone ak Gambia si boppam seen doom sax ñoo fi gën a bëri si ñun téye fii nii ak li nga xam ne mooy Guinée Conakry am na si ak li nga xam ne te mooy Guinée Bissau Amadou so situation bu fi nekk doy na waar taataan leen fi ay déglu neen si ñu bëri laajte leen situation bi nu mu demee waaye ñoom fu mu nekk ni seen jaaxle mooy ne xam nañ ne seen yoon yàqu na waaye maanaam dellu ku ne fu nga jógee woon loolu leen bëgg waaye koo si laaj fu mu nekk mu ngi laa wane ne rek daanaka dara nekku si poosam bi loo xam ne ni mën na see fay paas sax dem fi nga xam ne ni mooy Serekunda si boppam Amadou waaw.
all right mu nekkal mbir mu doy waar comme ni nga ko waxee fu mu nekk nii yoon yu mel nii bu amee wala bu yàqoo alal buñ cee dugal ñu bari loolu la ñoo xalaat yaa ngi ko wax ci sa kàddu tey ndaw yi nga xamante ne wala nit ñi nga xamante ne surtout ñu nekk ay Gambians te bokkoon ci ñi nga xamante ne ñoo bëggoon a jaar ci yoon bi le ñoom lan lañ nekk di wax fu mu nekk nii gannaaw yoon bi daanaka yàqu na lan lañ bëgg a ñu defal leen ak lan la ñoo sàkku ci li nga xamante ne mooy ci kilifa yi surtout ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo leen jàpp ci jamono buñ toll.
Amadou liñ gën a nekk di waxtu mooy ne rek ñoom luñ joxe woon nañ leen ko dégloo because ñenn si ñoom ñi ngay wax ne démb si guddi rek lii nga xam ne mooy seen xaalis si leen ko fay ki nga xam ne ni mooy seen agent ñi gën ko xam si ki nga xam ne laam because ku si interview di Freetonien di Guinéen si waxtaan nañ ak benn Guinéen Mamadou Aliou Diallo moom tam bokk na si déggul olof waaye yàlla dimbala ñu dégg neen Paul ak français tuuti waxtaan nañ ak moom won na ne moom mu ngi fay 500,000 francs soo ko cegee si xaalis yi xaalis bu bëri la is over almost nearly 40,000 to 45,000 loolu la fay na ne nag yàgg na fi depuis 24 mu ngi woon depuis on the 24 June bi ñu mai buñ génn la fi ñëw waaye moom agency Amadou ñaar leen war a ñetta ñoom ak Freetonien si ñoom ñu ne ñu ngi fayoon si agent suutee kooku sax right now mu ngi si fi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko téye si mu ngi si seel bi ñu ngi police ñu ngi ko téye ñoom ñu ne si kooku leen waaye si këram kooku moo leen doo jox ñu dem marché ndugg yi lekka waaye gis ñëpp ñu téye ko ñoom amul benn xaalis wax na ne sax mu ngi communiquer ak papaam parce que waa kiram moom leen yaakaar te di ko wan ne sax sa rakk dafa feebar waaye muy daf leen wax ne muy fu mu nekk mu ngi feebar te nekkut Conakry la day business te ndekete yow lu ma wax ak gaay mi mu ngi Gambia so am na jaaxle fu mu ne nii lu mu gën a bëgg mooy mu jot xaalisam Amadou daal di dellu fii nga xam ne mooy ay mbokkam comme que yoon bi yàqu na waaye gis nañ ne daal am nañ ñaaw njortu si ñi nga xam ne joxoon nañ ko seen xaalis bi because di main agent bi ki nga xam ne nii Lamine la tudda kooku bu ko gars yi téyee den wax ne dem nañ ak moom ba si fu migrants
ndax Lamine moomu xam nañ fan la nekk jamono ji Lamine bi ngay tudda agent bi ndax xam nañ fan la nekk right now
waaw waaye tukkikat yi ñoom li ñoo wax mooy ne biñ ko téyee si kaw tali bi bu ak machine gaal bi gars yi ñu ngi jëndoon gaal machine di dem si kaw tali bi xam naa ne sécurité bi am nañ information de am na migrant yu bugg a départure fii Gambie si guddi tey googu boori tout si guddi ñu ne leen téyee kii di Lamine ak machine gaal bi nga xam ne jëndoon nañ ko di dem ak moom ñenn si ñi nga xam ne ñoog Lamine ñoo nekkoon ak moom si motom bi ñu ne police bi ñu ko jàppee dañ dem ak motoom fii nga xam ne fa la gars yi nekk si lodge bu ñu nekkoon wala si guest house bi den bi gars yi bu ñëwee téye ñi nga xam ne leen jàppoon si police bi di dem ak Lamine dañ ko bàyyee motoom police yi bu ñu dellusee nag den ne dafa rëcc ñu ne loolu la seen xel munta nangu te kooku time boobu ñu ne ñoom si pick-up bi déjà tout sécurité man ñi ngi fa ak seen AK-47 bi naka la kii mun a rëccee li nga xam ne ni mooy motom te dafa waroon a nekk ondo custody waaye waruñ ko war a bàyyi mu nekk di dawal motom noonu soo bokk na si liñ jàmbat waat juróomi jigéen ñu ngi si waaye ñoom ñëpp de from Sierra Leone because ñoom wax neen ne sax ñoom ñaar ñi si seen boppa Kuwait leen nekkoon waaye den am link bi ne Gambie am na yoon bi through WhatsApp link si leen doon waxtaan kii nga xam ne mooy Mr Souté ñoom si Souté leen fay wax laajte naa ko ñoom ñëpp mu ne juróomi jigéen yooyu yëpp Freetown leen jógee waaye ñoom ñi ngi fay xaalis bëri 35 millions Lyon fa xaalis yi li nga xam ne mooy Freetown den soo ko cegee si dalasi yoo wane ne si 170,000 ñoom ñaar ñi nga xam ne ñoo jógee Kuwait ñoom fay neen si loolu noonu te juróom leen ay jigéen yi nga xam ne bokkoon leen si waaye ñoom right now ñoom ñi ngi toog ñoom tam di xaar ki nga xam ne mooy Lamine pour mu indi leen seen xaalis wax laaj naa ko ndax nit ñi bëri woon neen ñaata doomi réew ñoo fa nekkoon wane na ne am na ay Sénégalais ay Freetonian ay Guinée Conakry Guinée Bissau waaye Gambian si bëri woon neen fa trop because mën na ko nañ ndax mu doon mu ne luñ demoon mut na si 200 nit si fuñ loojoon waaye bi leen attaqué pour arrest leen ñu bëri si leen nekk di daw Amadou ba fu ne liñ fi téye mun ngaa wax ne ay 30 something or 40 su bëree ba bëri Amadou waaw
loolu am na solo Mon Ñang te dafa mel ni xaalis bi takku na lool biñ ci dugal te dafa mel ni ndaw yi jamono ji loolu lañ bëgg a xam wala loolu la ñoo ñaxtu pour ñu jotaat seen alal waaye jàpp nañ tamit ci nombre bi ñoom 37 la mooy ñetti fukk ak juróom-ñaari nit ay ndaw bokk nañ ci ay jigéen lan ngeen xam ci ñoom ndax ñoom yëpp seen condition naka la mel ndax ñu ngi ci jàmma wala am na li nga xamante ne dégg ngeen ko ci ñoom
waaw jógee naa waxtaan ñoom just 5 minutes bi balaa maa ñëw si microphone bi ñu ngi ok dara jotul leen laajte ne leen ndax amul kenn ku leen naroon a sonal bu ko xam nga rek yëfi jigéen wala laaj nen wax nen ne kenn sonalul leen doon kenn jéemul leen a am sax xememteef si ñoom waaye daal ñoom lu ñu soxla mooy nañ daal seen xaalis leen soxla pour dellu baak parce que kii daf leen promission sax ne lii du gaal yi leen waroon a demee ñoom sip leen waxoon mooy gaal yi mag yi nga xam ne ni yooyu leen waroon a tukkee moo tax moom mu jógee Koweït dem Sierra Leone ànd ak rakam ñi ñëw fii am kuñ collège Conakry itam ñi ñëw Gambia jaar through Guinée Conakry jaar Ziguinchor ak nu mu ko waxee daal di ñëw Gambia fii si la leen suute jëli fi nga xam ne ni mooy si sere Bundung Garas mu ne foofu la leen kii di suute pic mu ne moom sax bu mu ñëwee la gis ne suute handicap la daf dee soox waaye moom su xam daf ko dee yónnee ma sa nataal waaye su xamoon ne sax kii nekkut nit ku complete moom du den dugalante ak kii te def xaalis bu mu ko seen 35 millions Lyon so loolu bu xamoon ne façon yi nit bii la sax du ko yóbba waaye musul ko yónnee full nataal half nataal la ko doon yónnee ba bu mu ko jëlsee si garage bi la door a am ne kii handicap la so mu ko wan ne soo ma waxoon yow façon yi nit bii nga la duma jël suma xaalis di ko
waa léegi Mon Ñang balaa ñu laa bàyyi rek ñu ngi dégg si xibaar ne am na kenn ki nga xamante ne am na ku ci gaañu ci ñàkk bakkenam ci ñoom ñi nga xamante ne mooy ci nit ñi ñu bëggoon dem na ban xibaar lañ mun a jàpp ci loolu lan ngeen fekk ci ground bi ci yëf yooyu ci xew-xew boobu
Freetonian because ñoom ñëpp seen mbokk yi ñu ngi fi laajte naa kan la bokkal si kii indil neen ma kooku laajte naa ko si Mohamed Camara la tudd ñoom nee na Mohamed Camara la kooku tudd waaye nag comme ñu àggee si seen kaw den tiit because bi ñu àggee ëpp nañ fee tear gas so moom dem wax ne ëpp nañ tear gas yi so time boobu nag ku nekk rek ku nekk lu golo xam bootee doomam moment boobu foofu leen toll woon ku nekk di daw waaye ñoom ñi nga wax ne sax dafa mel ni agent bi dafa def deal bu ko nu mu ñëwee tiital leen noonu daw xam nga ne yow ku daw kooku dootul lijjanti paas waaye léegi ñi nga xam ne ñoom leen téye ñoo nekk di lijjanti paas bu ndoxatal la ñi ngi firi ñi ngi dem fu nekk waaye ñii duuñ ñu nga xam ne ni te lay dañ war a daw jot seen xaalis waaye not ne dañoo lijjanti pour daw so li si nekk nag nu ñu leen jàppee dafa xaw a tiitalu trop parce que rek si building bi wala si kër bi foo xam ne 200 people ñu ngi fa wala 190 something so nga ñëw open foofu noonu tear gas so ñoom den tiit ñu ne nag ñoom li ñu xel rek mooy ne ñii den bëgg ñun ñi daw ñoom ñu lekk seen xaalis waaye nag fekkee neen fii ay ndaw yi nga xam ne nii right now ñu ngi ànd ak seen fit ñu ngi dëgër lu ñu nekk di demande mooy ne na leen Lamin delloo seen xaalis Lamin Sila na leen delloo seen xaalis ak ki nga xam ne mooy suute nag mu ngi si ondo loxo gaay léegi ñu ngi ko téye waaye Lamin leen wax ne dana escape waaye am nañ sax yeneen xibaar yi nga xam ne mu ngi si suuf si kanam tuuti suñu yeneen xibaar dina leen ko gën a indil
incha allah
mbir yi lu jëm si
ñu gërëm la bu baax xam naa ne nañ ñëwaat ci yow bu yombee rek Binta mu ñëwaat ñu yaatal tamit ci kàllaama Mandinka ñu xam situation bi mu gën a yaatu tamit ñëpp ñuy seetaan tamit incha allah ñu xam mbir mi nu mu demee ndax nekk na mbir mu nu doy waar julde dégg nga li ci moon ñam wax tamit waaye dafa mel ni mbir mi mooy xaalis bi mooy nekk issue bi right now. That's the main issue.
That's the main issue,
yeah.
Because the money involved is huge,
yeah.
And young people, God knows where they took that money from before they embarked on this journey. Others will sell their family lands. Others will even borrow from other friends and relatives in order to embark on this journey. So the money is huge, actually, and the money could have been used on different issues for them to develop themselves. But right now, what they are concerned is now that they are not going is for the person, to actually return their money. But the question is, will he be able to return the money, considering what is involved? Because all of their target, both the boat owner and these potential migrants, the aim of them is to go to Europe, to Spain, but unfortunately they were intercepted.
Also, there's conflicting reports with regards to this.
What is actually happening?
With regards to the agent, where his whereabout is not known. According to what we heard from Bint earlier on, saying that he was earlier on captured, but later on the situation also changed and all that. So probably this might make the youth more concerned now and frustrated about their money.
Exactly, and that is the main problem. For the fact that there is no documentation of the whole process, makes it very difficult for actually people to have first-hand information on what actually occurred. The agent can simply say, I am not the agent, I was not involved, in fact I am not aware of it. Which proof will they have to substantiate their allegation that he is the agent and he is the one who actually took the money from them? So all these things are concerns, all these things are problems associated with irregular migration, but hopefully the immigration department, they are conducting investigation on the matter, and the person who lost his life on the process, and we hope that they will give us updates on their final report after everything is done and dusted. But as of now, we are not sure actually what transpired and where the agent is and the amount of money that the agent actually took from this potential migrants, because it's allegations. If the agent is found, we might be able to know actually what actually transpired. But as of now, this is the situation of the youths, and hopefully all that is happening right now is they are intercepted. We know that they are not going anymore. As of now, they are intercepted, and then their fate is not known yet what will happen to them. But we just hope that we will have first-hand information from the immigration department as to what actually happened. And then the unfortunate part is that 3 minors are involved in this whole process, and which makes it very, very difficult and devastating, and 3 women. So, and all of them are Gambians, unfortunately.
Absolutely. All right, very well. We would come back to that. Earlier you were talking about the efforts done by the authorities, but some people or the youth are not relenting on their quest to travel using the perilous journey. Binta Jallo is back on the line. Binta, thank you again. Now, we understand that of course, one of the potential migrants has, of course, died in the process of escaping from the Gambian forces. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, Amadou, thank you so much. Back again. Actually, we got information when we came here that one of the migrants who was trying to escape at the time of arrest, unfortunately, jumped into a well where he lost his life. So we had to make efforts to go and visit the place. The place is in Gunjur. We went to Gunjur, and of course, this is where these migrants were also lodging. So there is a well in the compound where this migrant lost his life. So we saw the well actually, and also we saw some blood stains also around the well. And this is very tragic and is also very unfortunate. Actually, this happened.
Well, very, very unfortunate, like you said. So this is similarly something very serious, because he was trying to escape from the security forces, like you said. They were lodging. Where is the body right now? Do we know anything about that? What is? Of course, is there anything also people that he was in the same journey as talking about or saying about that?
Yes, of course, when we came back here, we were trying to investigate about where the body is, and also we tried to talk to the family, because we met the family of the deceased here. So, but when we engaged them in this to know whether they know where the body is, we were told that they don't know where the body is, and they haven't even seen the body. They only saw a picture of the body. And I asked them what happened, did they ask the officers that they wanted to see the body, and they said yes, of course they did, but they were given excuses so as not to see the body as of now. And as we speak, the family haven't seen the body yet, and we don't know also where the body is.
All right, as you just mentioned, of course he fell in a well and eventually died. Do we know who, of course, took him out from that well? Apparently, that might also be a concern. This is somebody who was trying to escape, but eventually fell in a well and died.
Can you come again, please?
Yeah, I was just asking, do we know who are the people who got the body out of from the well he fell in and died? Because probably this also might be a concern, because we yet to know where the body is apparently as we speak.
Yes, the information that we got was that the fire service, in collaboration with other security forces, removed the body from the well. But where the body is currently, that is what we don't know as of now.
Okay. So since we last spoke to you, what is the situation now? Is there any other development that have emerged with regards to the same issue? Or there isn't anything that we know with regards to the agencies in particular, and also what the youths are demanding also, because they want to have their monies back, as you said.
Yes, like I said before, the youths are only demanding for a return of their money, because some of these youths are saying that they sold all their belongings, and some of them said they took money from someone, and then also they're expected to pay this money at a particular period. So this is something that is worrying them, and they are really devastated over this, and all they're asking as we speak is their money to be returned back to them.
All right, stay on the line, Julde. Interesting there, you see someone among them lost his life, which is very sad, unfortunate as well.
It's very unfortunate, and I don't know whether we could briefly talk on the Mandinka, so that our Mandinka viewers will also know what is happening.
I think Binta's Mandinka might be good, better than mine.
Anyway, let me just summarize that for our viewers. Mbadingol ala baraka mbenyin tembo mentombe migration kuole fokan andu ngalon ne komi Gambia immigration department nyin tembo ye molle muta memu yalon ko fenketa funding ke mu yalon ko tan saba ni worowula funding ke memu yalon ko Gambia immigration department ye muta nyin tembo la memu yalon ko ila tatala nyin bagwe joni wala nyin koma siloti andu wol kono dinding mo sababi mo woro bije memi yalon ko dinni ngollem imang 18 years soto andu musu saba fanan be kono wotumo la fanan e kabri tata gunjur ya realize ko komin ko modole fanan fate kono memi yalon ko afana lafta kata no ni silola bari kabri tata je e lafta kamuta abe bori kan dorong nata dung kolongo kono nata fa so kabra fata nan imanna lonko muneke tala bari tilifula nyaato e nata nyin ala fure oje so wato ni bari sainte mon malo ala furobe daminto na colleague binta diallo ko ay family ala ay boyol ni wala victim ni na family ka engage bari amam fen soto kono bari be kibarol natile atol yen meme yalon ko be happun kan in Tanji ngalon ne nyim fondinkel mu fondinkel lete meme yanko lafta kata nyin ko masilola bari sainteng ngalon ne ko ko fondinkel le bari malon ko mune ke be keri bari nyim fondinkel be mun diman kan right now ka fo ha ilafta le agent to nyi yela ko do murundima bari agent to nyi fango mo malon ko agent to fango be damin to nyi tembo mento so that was it Amadou in summary my maninka is very bad though but I just hope
you
that
have done justice to that. I think our viewers would really appreciate that. You know, thank you very much. Now, Binta, again, if I can come back to you, do we know what is next now? What is next of this situation? The youths are demanding their monies. Somebody has lost his life. Apparently, this is a concern that we all know the authorities will be dealing with right now. But do we know what is next? What would possibly follow after what has happened so far?
So Amadou, I just got a tip of that. The name Lamin that had been mentioned since morning, and that happens to be the agent, is in custody right now. This is the latest development that I just got as we speak right now.
All right, so Lamin is apparently under custody, as you have just been informed there. So apart from that, do we know what is next now? What would follow with the migrants who are captured now by the forces? What would happen with the youths now, or with those migrants that are under custody?
So I happen to engage some of the authorities, and what I heard them say is that these migrants are going to be bailed accordingly, and also they will be relieved, and then at the same time they will be coming to report here from time to time. And now I don't know actually what is going to happen, because some of the migrants are actually very frustrated to the extent asking me what is their fate. I am like, no, I don't know what your fate is. I think the authorities know what your fate is. But as we speak, this is what is at hand, and we don't know what is going to happen next unless now that we have this latest development that Lamin is in custody, now we don't know what is going to happen next.
Mr. Jallo, thank you very much. We might come back to you before we find a wrap up of this live broadcast, but thank you very much for the update. And yeah, so yeah, Julde, finally, I think we got to go now. Binta have done a fantastic job with Monyang. They are updating us on the recent development and the situation on the ground. But then, just to, in conclusion, I mean, like you mentioned earlier, in as much as there are efforts done by authorities working with different institutions and agencies to fight against irregular migration, migration is will continue to happen, but irregular migration is the concern. Do you think this can be easily defeated?
I doubt it. I seriously doubt it, Amadou, for the fact that young people in this country, and of course all over the world, are complaining of lack of job opportunities in the country. Young people are saying that they are not employed, and most of them who are even employed are complaining of unemployment rather. So I mean, all these things are the factors that will really trigger these youngsters to embark on this journey. It has reduced, like the IOM did mention, there is no specific statistic as to the number of young people embarking on this journey. But for a fact, we believe that now the number of young people embarking on this journey has drastically reduced in the Gambia here compared to recent years, where you have thousands and thousands of young people embarking on this journey and thousands of them losing their lives in this journey. So a lot of things, this is just an alarm to show a lot of things need to be done nationally, in making sure that these young people don't embark on this journey, because young people, we are the they are the, they constitute a bulk of this population in the
cream of the
the cream of the country. And
so,
other statistics is saying 65, but others are even saying it's more than that.
Absolutely.
Now. So it means now they are the future. They are both the present and the future. So it means the government needs to do a lot of that in that regard, in making sure that young people are not embarking in this dangerous journey.
Well, if anyone thinks that the famous backway journey is dying anytime soon, especially in the Gambia, you have to think again. Apparently, the youths are not relenting in their efforts, in their quest to use whatever way, probably the back way to travel, despite we're all trying to discourage people using that route to wherever they want to travel. But thank you very much for being there again. But before we leave, we'll of course want to leave you with the statement earlier on we aired from the immigration PRO. Right after that, the news will follow next. Thank you very much, and here is the PRO again.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Welcome to the GID Migration Center here in Tanji. We thank you very much for honoring our invitation to this morning briefing. We have some interesting information that we want to share with all of you here. On Wednesday, the 9th of June 2021, the GID received an intelligence from our counterparts that a migrant group consisting of various nationalities are planning to embark on a perilous journey using the high seas to the Canary Islands in Spain. Our officers, in collaboration with our sister forces, remarkably the SIS and the Gambian Navy, were able to work on this information, leading to the arrest of 9 people in Tanji and another 28 people in Gunjur, totaling to a sum of 37 people. Among them were 3 women, all of which were Sierra Leoneans, and 6 minors, meaning children under the age of 18 years, all of whom were Gambians. As part of the operations, we were also able to arrest a 40 horsepower outboard engine and 33 life jackets. Altogether, 25 Gambians were arrested as part of the group, 10 Sierra Leoneans, 1 Guinean, and 1 Senegalese. The arrested individuals were brought to our migration center here in Tangier, as you can evidently see, and the investigations were conducted. The Red Cross were of help to this operation because they have immensely supported with feeding and psychosocial support. The investigations, the preliminary investigations for that matter, have so far revealed that one agent who goes by the name Sute Marong has been arrested and is currently helping the investigators with their work. However, the rest of the masterminds behind this whole thing are still at large. These migrants, according to the investigations so far, have paid some huge amounts of money, ranging from 25,000 to 45,000 Gambian dollars. One of them revealed to the investigators that he have paid about $900 to be able to embark on the journey. But this $900 was not enough for the agents, and they have to go to his household to collect some household belongings that will be used to make up for the rest of the money that he needs to pay for the journey. Others have also informed the investigators that they have paid valuables like motorbikes and other valuable materials. As we speak, the investigations and the hunt for the masterminds, the rest of the masterminds, still continues. And we hope to brief you accordingly as and when we get more updates on this significant development.
34,000 people received AstraZeneca COVID-19 in the Gambia. ICC prosecutor urges Sudanese government to surrender suspects for prosecution. And Nigerian government approves over 6.6 billion naira to build oxygen plants in all states. This and more coming on the World Today newscast. Hello, this is the World Today newscast with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. As health officials in the Gambia continue to encourage people to get vaccinated amid increasing COVID-19 cases, over 34,300 people took their first jab of the vaccine. At the initial stage of the vaccination trial, many people in the country doubt the efficacy and effectiveness of the vaccine, leading to the suspension of the vaccine in some European countries. Details of that in this report by Ndai Sise.
In March 2021, several European countries paused the use of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine after several reports of blood clots. Despite the suspension of the vaccine by these European countries, the vaccine continues to take its toll in the Gambia, as over 32,372 have been vaccinated so far. These include the frontline workers, security personnel and government top officials, including the president, as well as those with complicated illnesses. During the process of the vaccination, misinformation has made the process very difficult for health officials, as explained by Mbanjai from the expanding program immunization.
People were misinformed. There are a lot of misinformation among people because population with the social media sending WhatsApp messages telling them the vaccine is not good and all those things. They are here to kill people and the like. Those were some of the messages that people have been talking about.
In order to make availability of safe and effective vaccines on a large scale in the Gambia, the World Bank Board on April 16, 2021, approved $8 million financing from the International Development Association. People continue to receive their jab of the vaccine. Those who took the first jab are encouraged to receive the second jab. According to the latest situational report by the Ministry of Health, the Gambia has recorded over 60,000 confirmed cases, 5,800 recoveries, and 179 deaths. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am DCC.
In what is called her last final visit to Sudan, Fatou Bensouda, Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court (ICC), urged the Sudanese government to cooperate with the court to surrender suspects of gross human rights violations over the years for investigation and prosecution. In her last briefing to the Security Council, the ICC Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda says the deployment in Sudan's amplified demonstrates that the arm of justice is long-earned patience, and details of that in this report. Briefing the Council via teleconference on the situation in Darfur, ICC's Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda says many stood in the way of her office on the dossier while many others supported the ICC's path to justice. According to Bensouda, the ICC and the government of Sudan have turned a new page in their relationship, adding that the old days of hostilities and non-cooperation have been replaced by constructive dialogue and a good spirit of cooperation.
Sudan is under a legal obligation to surrender the suspects pursuant to Resolution 1593. The Juba Peace Agreement is also clear that all suspects must appear before the ICC and that Sudan should fully cooperate with ICC in its investigations and prosecution of these suspects. Sudan has to tangibly demonstrate that the new Sudan is now a fully fledged member of the international community that has joined the fight against impunity and is fully committed to justice and the rule of law. Almost all the suspects are in the custody of the government of Sudan, and there is no legal impediment to their surrender to ICC.
ICC prosecutor emphasized that the transition in Sudan still needs nurturing to mature as peace and justice continue to elude the people of Darfur. She says the withdrawal of the UN-African Union hybrid operation in Darfur seems to have created a vacuum that still needs to be filled. Bensouda adds that the security situation remains volatile in some areas in Darfur, including reports of sexual and gender-based violence.
Justice and accountability in Sudan, including Darfur, cannot be achieved without maintaining security and stability for vulnerable communities. The violence against IDPs, and in particular, women, girls, and children, must stop. I call on the members of the Council and other regional partners to continue to do everything within their power to help Sudan break this troubling cycle of violence.
Bensouda stresses that people in Darfur continue to yearn for peace, security, and other basic necessities for their children and the return to their homes. She says the issues will not only require the restoration of trust between government authorities and the people of Darfur, but also resolution of the causes of the root issues that have bedeviled the region over the years, as well as the support of the international community. Bensouda underscored the need to execute the 4 outstanding ICC warrants, adding that suspects must be handed over to the ICC. For iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
Now, Tunisian government is planning to cut its public sector wage bill and replace subsidies with direct support for the needy. The International Monetary Fund has previously called on Tunisia to enact economic reforms to reduce chronic fiscal deficits and a large public sector debt, including by cutting the wage bill, subsidies and transfers to state-owned companies. Details of that in this report.
Tunisian authorities have said that redirecting the subsidies is a necessary operation amid an ongoing economic crisis that has been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Tunisia subsidizes vegetable oil, bread and many other food products as well as energy. The move to redirect the subsidy is part of the structural economic reform program which has been developed by the Prime Minister's economic advisors.
The government will redirect the subsidy to those who need it the most. All poor, average income, even above average income families will get the subsidy. Anyone who needs and deserves state support will get it. Redirecting subsidy will better serve the population.
Economists say the reforms to cut subsidies would involve first phasing out food subsidies and then gradually ending subsidies for electricity, water and petrol. Tunisia is currently seeking a $4 billion loan program from the International Monetary Fund. Cutting subsidies is part of the recommendations of the IMF.
The state aims to enact economic reforms to reduce chronic fiscal deficits. These measures are urgent. There are other midterm reform plans which take into consideration the IMF's program. Tunisia cannot revive its ailing economy and seek foreign loans without showing the concrete results of its reform plan.
Tunisian authorities say the economic situation facing the country over the last decade has been difficult and has worsened by the COVID-19 downturn. Therefore, the next reforms will be very painful. One of the main axes of these reforms is restructuring state enterprises, their operation mode and their ability to generate profits.
It's time for real economic redress. The government needs to explain the reforms to the population. We can no longer talk about salary hikes and state spending without production and productivity. Tunisia's financial resources have doubled over the last decade, but the public sector wage bill and expenses are still too high.
Prime Minister Hisham Meshishi promised that his government will not initiate reforms without the agreement of various parties, including national organizations such as the Tunisian General Labour Union and the Tunisian Confederation of Industry, Trade and Handicrafts.
Many Tunisians believe that the subsidy system, which was put in place in the 1970s, has always improved the purchasing power of millions of people. However, economists warn that this costly system is no longer efficient after 1 decade of economic difficulties and social unrest.
That report on Tunisia's economy will take us to a quick break, and we'll be right back with the rest of the news on the world today.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back, and this is still the World Today News. In their effort to help ease severe shortage of oxygen, the Nigerian government plans to build more oxygen plants in all states of the country at a tune of 6.5 billion naira. In December, the government of Nigeria enlisted Nigeria's Air Force to increase liquid oxygen production at a plant in the northeastern city of Yola and fly 117 cylinders to 2 COVID-19 centers in Abuja. More in this report.
Stephanie Adams is a full-time homemaker who nearly died 10 years ago due to the lack of oxygen at the health center in Jos, not central Nigeria. Eventually, she found one with oxygen. Stephanie considers herself lucky and says she knows many who died because they couldn't access oxygen.
When I was sick and I needed oxygen, I went to so many hospitals looking for oxygen. There was no oxygen. I was lucky to have one, and I was lucky I scaled through it. Other hospitals don't have it. So many hospitals don't have it, and people are dying. People are dying. Most especially in this our area of this corona, COVID-19.
While Stephanie found help, others haven't been so lucky. Nigeria's health ministry says an estimated 625,000 lives are lost yearly to diseases associated with insufficient oxygen in the blood. The nation's Center for Disease Control says things have gotten worse since the outbreak of coronavirus in the country. It says over 2,000 people have died from the disease alone, most of them due to lack of oxygen at health centers.
Oxygen administration has been a very serious challenge in the healthcare services delivery. Most of the time we find it very difficult because the availability is not adequate enough. And it is essential that any hospital facility should have enough oxygen for patients that deserve oxygen administration.
The government has now approved a sum of 6.5 billion naira, around $17 million, for the construction of at least one oxygen plant in each state of the country. Health professionals say it's a necessary move.
Taking this giant stride is very important. Nigerian citizens will really welcome it, especially the health personnel, because we have seen the great need of having this oxygen in abundance for our patients that require its administration.
But the health workers have a demand from the government. The health professionals want the government to engage the right hands to execute the project. They are calling for reputable medical personnel without a history of corruption to be part of it. They say their expertise will be necessary to prevent mistakes in implementation. The government says it is determined to fight corruption in all sectors. If the oxygen plants are built correctly, health workers believe they will make a big difference. And people like Stephanie won't have to search for oxygen until their last breath.
The Ugandan president has released a long-awaited list of new cabinet ministers and ministers of state last Tuesday. Museveni surprised Ugandans by appointing women to the major key posts of vice president and prime minister respectively. The Ugandan head of state believes that having more women in government will help improve services delivery. We have more in this report.
A television journalist turned politician, Agnes Nandutu is the new minister for Karamoja Affairs, and she's gearing up for the task ahead.
we are in charge as women. And in the next 5 years, the president has entrusted us, we are going to drive this country to the middle income status.
Agnes joins several other women who have been appointed in key ministerial positions, including the vice president, the prime minister, and all the deputy prime ministers. The new ministers will now face Parliament's Appointments Committee for vetting, and those who will make it through this process will take on the task of providing better services to the locals. President Yoweri Museveni says he wants to fight endemic corruption in the country.
To achieve these aims, we must defeat corruption and disorientation, and we shall defeat them. Corruption has become a real enemy.
But anti-corruption campaigners argue that the president should do more than appointing women in top offices.
If you're to improve services in our country, you don't need a bloated, cabinet. What we need to see is political will. We have the laws in place, we have the institutions in place. Are the laws working? Are the institutions working? Even if you put men or women, it doesn't matter as long as we have people of integrity.
Uganda's new cabinet has got 80 ministers. The president believes having more political envoys in the community like Agnes Nandutu could help improve service delivery and also promote economic growth.
Ugandan's president appointing women in key positions of his government brings us to the end of the World Today newscast. I am Mariama Cham. Thanks for your company and goodbye for now.